कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, अरे कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधो। साहब मिले सबूरी में, अरे साहब मिले सबूरी में, मन लागो यार फकीरी में, मन लागो।
Suivo, the disciple of Hakuin, was a good teacher. During one summer seclusion period, a pupil came to him from a southern island of Japan. Suivo gave him the problem, hear the sound of one hand. The pupil remained 3 years but could not pass this test. One night he came in tears to Suivo. I must return south in shame and embarrassment, he said, for I cannot solve my problem. Wait for 1 week more and meditate constantly, advised Suivo. Still, no enlightenment came to the pupil. Try for another week, said Suivo. The pupil obeyed, but in vain. Still another week, yet this was of no avail. In despair, the student begged to be released, but Suivo requested another meditation of 5 days. They were without result. Then he said, meditate for 3 days longer, then if you fail to attain enlightenment, you had better kill yourself. On the second day, the pupil was enlightened. What do we see happening here? Enlightenment is sought. Enlightenment eludes. Enlightenment proves difficult to come about. The body is put at stake, and lo, here is enlightenment. Enlightenment is sought, enlightenment eludes, the body is put at stake, here is enlightenment. Alright. What is enlightenment? Look at the mind that seeks enlightenment. Surely, if everything were all right, if the mind would have been at rest, then the mind would not have sought enlightenment. We are looking at the very basics. There is a mind that is seeking enlightenment, or whatever. There is a mind that is seeking, irrespective of the object. Enlightenment may or may not be the object of the seeking. Here it is. So the mind is seeking enlightenment. For sure, the mind is not quite at rest. The mind is not really at peace. That is why there is seeking. Had everything been alright, the mind would have said things are already alright. I do not need to change the situation. Nothing more needs to be achieved. Right? Here something is needed to be achieved. So the mind is not quite okay. What is this mind that is not feeling okay? This is a mind full of, what is mind full of? Thoughts and desires and fear and
Objects.
images and objects and concepts and knowledge and suffering and attachments and bonds and imaginations and
Awareness.
awareness is full. It does not fill up. What is the mind full of? Right? All these things. Well said. The world. So images, objects, thoughts, people, places, events, happenings, memories. The world. The world. And the world is all material. The world is all material. The body is a symbol, a metonym for all that is material. Whenever you encounter the word body in wisdom literature, in scriptures, in spiritual texts, do not take the body just as the human body. Body means material. Body means all that has taken a shape, a form, a name. That is the body. The Upanishads say the world is the body of the truth. The world is the body of Brahman. That is the meaning of body. Material. Now what is the mind full of? Material. So the mind is full of body. Enlightenment is
Freedom.
mind trying to empty itself of its suffering, which is its own content. Enlightenment is mind trying to get rid of suffering. Something is not quite proper, something is not at place. That is why you seek enlightenment. So the mind wants to correct the situation. But what is the situation? It has to be understood. First of all, the mind is full of only objects. We are looking at the situation that needs to be corrected. First of all, the mind is full of objects. Secondly, suffering is not something fragmented. On the surface, the moods and seasons of the mind keep changing. So it appears that pain goes and pleasure does come. It appears that sometimes we are not sad. It appears as if we are able to enjoy moments of relief on the surface only. But deep within, there is no change. There is no change because on observation it is seen that the mind operates within its limits, and those limits have remained the same. Those limits have not at all changed. Space-time is the limit. So first of all, the mind is not happy with itself. Secondly, that which the mind is not happy with is the content of the mind, which is the body. Thirdly, we cannot say that the mind is body plus something. Whatever is there in the mind is body, and whatever is there in the mind is suffering. In other words, to perceive the world as bodily, as material, is in itself the suffering of the mind. You know what we are saying? We are saying that the suffering of the mind is that the mind is mind. Rephrase it to read that just being is the suffering of mind. Just existing is the suffering of mind. You see, had you been anything except suffering, then you could have said that I can eliminate those portions of my being which are not suffering. But you are in totality only body, only limitation. And you do not like limitations. You do not like boundaries. You do not like death. Where there is limitation, there is bound to be a cessation. There is bound to be death. Getting it? Now here is this mind. It is seeking relief. And how is it seeking relief? By going to a master, by listening to his words, by following his instructions. Understand that whatever the mind does, the process is always accumulative. It adds. So, whereas the disease of the mind is its own being, yet even when it goes to the master, even when it tries for relief, the method it prefers is an accumulative method. I will remain what I am, and I will also add the master's teaching to my being. I will not get rid of what I am, which is material, which is body, which is thoughts and everything, which is all name and form collectively known as the body. Even when I will go to the master, I will accumulate. I will take it upon myself. The master says, go and meditate. What will I turn meditation into? Another object, another process, another method, another something to be thought of. Another concept. It keeps happening. The ego is happy, the ego is co-opting, the ego is taking everything. But if the master is a real master, he will be a smart master, more clever than the mechanisms of the ego. He says, all your nonsense is just to protect yourself. I am giving you the highest remedy possible, but you are making it fail. You are conspiring to defeat it just to protect yourself, which is the body. Nothing else do you want.
You just want the universe to continue. You just want to protect your world. And what is your world?
Body.
Call it body or call it bodily. The same thing. Is there anything non-bodily about your world? Is there anything in your world which does not have a name? Is there anything in your world that does not have a form? And body is all that. Name, form, size, dimensions. So the master says, all this sham, this total fiasco is happening just for the obnoxious purpose of preserving the mind, which is the body. He says, all right. Then, if I tell you that if you continue with this, then the very purpose for which you are doing this will be defeated, then all your conspiracy comes to a halt. It is defeated. See, whatever you are doing just so that your world keeps running. You want nothing else. But if somehow a master can reveal to you that by doing what you are doing, you will not be able to save the world. If the master can somehow reveal to you that your world will anyway come to an end and is in fact coming to a more horrible end through your actions to protect the world, then you will have to stop all your actions intended to protect the world. Why do you do all the horrible and idiotic stuff that you do? You do it just to maintain the status quo. You do it just so that all that is old and settled and pattern based, all that you have become comfortable with, that does not pass away. Am I right? But what if somebody reveals to you that that which you want to protect is being severely harmed by your efforts to protect it? Then would you still continue with your efforts? The master used this trick. He said, you are not letting enlightenment come to you just to protect the body, but now I am telling you that if you will not let enlightenment come to you, then you will lose the body. Now you will not block enlightenment. You are blocking enlightenment in order to save the body, which is the mind. Enlightenment is the end of the mind. So you block enlightenment because you want to protect the mind, which is the body. So you block enlightenment to secure the mind, and if the master is wise enough, he will tell you that by blocking enlightenment, you are causing more torture to the mind. You think you are helping the mind? You think you are protecting the mind? You think you are a friend of the mind? No. In your stupid effort to block enlightenment, you are only causing yourself more and more pain. And once that is seen, then your own self-interest demands that you do not block the real, the truth anymore. Then enlightenment dawns immediately. This small story contains the whole narrative of whatever mankind has ever done. Man has always wanted peace. But his efforts to get peace have themselves been the resistance against peace. You know, there is nobody who does not want enlightenment. You may want enlightenment in various names and forms. Somebody may want enlightenment in the form of a tall building. Somebody may want enlightenment in the form of space travel. Somebody may want it in some other name, form, whatever. But enlightenment is all that each one wants. And enlightenment is what each one seems to miss. Because you want enlightenment to improve yourself, to protect yourself. You want to protect yourself and you say enlightenment should come and help in the process of protection. If enlightenment comes, then I will become immortal. Have you not heard this? So if enlightenment comes, what will become immortal? What will continue? The ego. So you need enlightenment for the sake of the... Now that's wonderful. Enlightenment comes, knocks every day. But it says if I enter, then ego will have to leave. If I enter, then your world, the mind, the body, they will have to be reduced to a secondary position. If I come, then I will become the first. If I come, I'll have to be acknowledged as the first. If I come, I'll come only as the king, the ruler. Everything else, all your other priorities will have to be relegated to a lower position. So you say, no. I wanted you, but I wanted you just as a servant to my other priorities. I want enlightenment as a servant who would be obedient to my other priorities. Enlightenment cannot come that way. It is not the nature of enlightenment to be second. It would always be first. So here is a trick. Tell yourself that so far you have not let it come only because you think that you want to be a well-wisher of your world. You have blocked truth, you have blocked wisdom, you have blocked peace, joy, you have blocked all efforts of all teachers just so that you can protect your petty dreams. But in blocking them, you are only torturing that, bleeding that which you wish to protect. Truth saves you, but not only you. Truth is a general, universal savior. The ones that you want to protect, you will not be able to protect. Only truth will protect. Let truth come. The truth will take care of you and also the world that you want to protect. Only the truth can protect that. But you are blocking the truth, thinking that you will protect the world. No, you will not protect the world. Let truth come in. The truth will protect both you and the world. Only the truth knows the real meaning of protection. Whenever you have tried to protect, you have only done harm to the world. Have you not? Getting it? It's a bit like this. The teacher says that for the sake of your relationship with your husband, you're not answering my call, you're not opening the door. You think that if I'll enter, then your relationship with the husband will be strained. But instead I'm telling you that if I do not enter, then you will totally lose him. Only I can turn that relationship healthy. So don't be foolish. Open the door. You think that by blocking me, you will be able to save your relationship? No, wrong. By blocking me, you have blocked all that which could have been healthy in your relationship, because I represent health. If you have blocked me, you have blocked health. Let me come in. I will not destroy anything that is healthy. Yes, I will destroy. I will destroy, but only that which is rotten and must be destroyed. So let me come in. Truth reinforces truth. If there is anything healthy in your relationship, then my arrival will only boost that health. Are you getting it? That is the trick. Show the student that the loss happens not when he follows the teacher, but when he does not follow the teacher. Display it, prove it, and then the mind will fall in line. And as Zen stories are characteristically fond of saying, the mind gets immediately enlightened. Huh? It's a very pretty expression. Quaint and charming. Upon hearing these words, Kunal was immediately enlightened.
In one of the story, by seeing the finger, one got enlightened.
Not by seeing the finger, but by first having his finger cut.
At the last, yes.
Otherwise you can keep seeing fingers, all kinds of fingers. Nothing happens to you. First of all, your own finger should be cut.
But this last advice is really paradoxical. Meditate for 3 days long, then if you fall to a better kill yourself. It seems on the first side it must be a bit even more forcefully to try to achieve something. Absolutely.
You see,
How does this
the fellow has already been there 3 years. 3 years and a few weeks already. Nothing can be done by way of positive effort now which has not already been done in the 3 years. The fellow, by way of effort, by way of doing, by way of trying new tricks, new methods, all effort, has already been investing himself since very long time. Very long time plus additional time. 1 week, another week, another week. So whatever affirmative action could have been taken has already been taken. These 3 days are not for taking any affirmative action. They are rather for removing the blockage. Now the disciple cannot do anything new. Instead, he has to stop doing what he has already been doing, always been doing. The master realizes that he has reached the end of all effort. Effort won't help. In fact, he is now investing his effort just in protecting himself. So he has to rather drop effort now. No more effort is needed. You know, something very similar to this is said by Kabir. Kabir, in one of his couplets, wishes, prays that nobody should become fearless. He says it is through fear that you gain liberation. It is through fear that you become transformed. Bhay paras hai jeev ko, nirbhay hoye na koe. That is what is at display here. The master shows him that while you are terrified of the master, of meditation, of enlightenment, thinking that you will lose something, then if you are so worried and concerned about that object which you do not want to lose, and what is that object? Mind, body, the world. Then if you are so concerned about that object, I will use your very concern as a tool, as a method. Kabir says, Bhaya se bhakti sab kari. He says, there is no devotion without fear. There is no devotion without fear. Because that is the habit of the mind. It can move only either to get something or to prevent something from being lost. Fear and greed. So, sometimes it so happens that the same fear and greed have to be used to become the agents of your enlightenment. Bottom line, that which you are protecting is being destroyed due to your protection. And if you really want to protect, embrace your enlightenment. It is knocking. It wants to come. Only enlightenment protects.